Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sage Valentine. As always, you were super duper patient with me. This is a late review, but I had to get it done, so better late than ever. That's my motto whenever my videos are late. But let's just get down to episode 13 of season 8 entitled Do Not Send Us Astray. Now, you all know how I feel about Morgan's storyline, especially as it pertains to the TV show, because I know what happens in the comic book. I did not want Morgan to get the storyline that he's about to get. I wanted more for his character. Yes, he began to lose it once he killed that savior that was trying to kill Carol. I get it. He started acting like the Terminator once he killed his first human in a very long time and went into straight super kill mode. But I guess I fooled myself into thinking that Morgan's storyline would diverge from the comics and that someone else would take it. And then when it was announced at New York Comic Con last year that one character from The Walking Dead would be heading to Fear and one character from Fear would be heading to The Walking Dead, I guess I had it in my mind that it would be anybody but Morgan. So when it was announced that it was Morgan who would be crossing over to Fear the Walking Dead, that's when I knew that all would be lost and that his character was on his way out. Now, is it me, or has Henry's storyline become similar to Carl's storyline in season 2? You know, the whole running joke of where's Carl, that whole thing. Especially after all that happened in this episode, particularly his disappearance, and I have a bad feeling about his disappearance. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that Alpha is not in the background collecting heads. If you read the comics, you know what I'm talking about. If not, then you will find out soon. Unless, of course, you decide to research Alpha and everything, but I really believe you're going to find out pretty soon. If not, then you will find out soon. Unless, of course, you decide to research Alpha and everything, but I really believe you're going to find out pretty soon. So let's get down to Dr. Dana from the hilltop. She's extra rude to Sadiq. She does not believe that he's capable of helping her out. And I'm just like, beggars can't be choosers. Your last doctor was on his way to the hilltop and got basically kidnapped with Morgan. And on the way, or almost on the way away from where, not Morgan. So let's get down to Dr. Dana from the hilltop. She is extra rude to Sadiq. She does not believe that he is capable of helping out. And I'm like, beggars can't be choosers, because your last doctor just died. Like, Father Gabriel did all that he could to bring this dude to the hilltop, only to basically watch him die in front of him and his body to be left there on the ground. Poor Father Gabriel. But listen, Sadiq is a second-year EM resident. He'll be fine. I'm just like, shut up, Dr. Dana. So I was not upset when she met her maker. I know there were some people online who were just like, come on, these spoilers can't be real. Another doctor's gonna die. But when Dr. Dana was killed off, I was just like, well, things happen. And Sadiq lets her know that he's ready and that she should treat him better. And all of a sudden she's like, oh, I like you, Sadiq. And I'm rolling my eyes. So the hilltop, for the most part, is preparing for a savior attack. Now, Henry was told to stay inside of the house and guard the people. But as I said in the beginning with Carl didn't listen when they told him to stay someplace when he was younger, so I didn't imagine that Henry would listen. The only thing is that I'm thinking back to the situation or the conversation between Morgan and Carol about telling Henry the truth. I kind of wish they had told him the truth, so Henry would have gone and sat his behind down, or if they had done something about Jared, if he had been the one that had been killed off instead of, I believe it was Dean, by Maggie. So let's get down to the battle between the hilltop and the saviors. I feel like Simon's character took some of the dark parts of Negan's storyline, because Simon does not exist in the comic book, and Negan with Dwight and the rest of the saviors attacked the hilltop. So To see Simon doing it means that Simon is like another branch off of Negan's storyline, but I also think that he is going to be a short-lived character, especially when Negan comes back and basically kills him. I really feel like Negan's gonna kill this dude, because Negan is going to be pissed that he lied to him about the whole garbage people thing, on top of the idea to basically wipe everybody out and start over with a whole new settlement somewhere else. Negan was not here for it, and Dwight was right to go to Simon and say to him, listen, how are you going to react when Negan comes back and he hears about this? And Simon is just like, what did he say? He said, it's better to be forgiven, or to be forgiveness, than ask permission. That's how my closed caption on my phone showed what he was saying. But anyway, I guess he's saying it's better to be forgiven than to ask for permission. Just like, dude, when Negan comes back, he's going to be extra, extra pissed. And before I forget, Simon was willing to cut ties with the saviors, who are basically kept at the hilltop. He sees them as losers because they were caught. That's not something that Negan would have done or Negan would have felt about them. But again, Simon is a darker part of Negan's storyline from the comic books. And in fact, he is a tad bit darker than Negan, because I never saw Negan as trying to slaughter everybody. Negan was portrayed in the comic book as somebody who wanted to save people, and those who did not want to get in line would be killed. But he's not the type of person that would kill a whole bunch of people, because those people would be a part of his business model, the one that he told Rick about. I believe it was in the beginning of season 7. He explained his whole business model and how that whole situation with him and Team Family, especially with Rick and the gang that was there after Abe and Glenn died, it was like a job interview or something. It was a really creepy way to explain it. But I digress. Anyway, Simon looks at that situation with Negan getting upset and basically delving out justice towards him as a future problem. I don't. I mean, I did see the future trailer package that shows what's going to happen in episode 14, which shows little tidbits of it. But I feel like once Negan gets out, once he gets back with the saviors, he's going to do what he needs to do with Simon. So Daryl pulls up behind the saviors. He's shooting on his motorcycle. When he tries to escape inside of the hilltop, the saviors are like zooming up behind him, and all of a sudden the hilltop people pull this yellow school bus in front of the gate and kind of block them out a little bit. And the hilltop, which is basically like, you know, the kingdom, hilltop in Alexandria, they all start firing shots towards the saviors. The saviors have no guns, because Simon's whole plan has nothing to do with guns. He's taken Negan's idea of the blood-tipped arrows, you know, the Walker blood, and knives and such, to a whole different extreme. So he has his men firing arrows towards Team Family as a whole. And some of the saviors, again, have tainted weapons. Now, Tobin was either slashed or stabbed, or one of the two, by some dude with a knife. And Sadiq came to his aid. Dwight shot Tara in the shoulder with an arrow. I do not believe that that arrow was tainted with anything. That whole situation made me think back to the time when Dwight shot Daryl in the shoulder and essentially saved Daryl's life in that situation. That's how I see it. And some other people have said the same thing when they went back to watch that episode from season 6. Michonne is the only person that can make Daryl retreat, because at first Daryl's like hesitating and he's kind of looking at what's going on, and then Michonne was like, Daryl, come on. The gunfire ceases, and so does the fighting, and all of a sudden it's like eerily calm and dark, and Simon's just like, alright, take a group, go around back. Gary, take this group, go this way. Me and this group, we're gonna go straight. He starts whistling. I guess he thinks he has the upper hand. Then the lights come on, and Team Family starts firing shots at them. And the bullets are just flying. Now, the saviors, some of them, for the most part, in the front, they start falling. They're dying While the rest are retreating, there's more gunfire from behind them, led by Rick and the crew. And when Rick runs out of bullets, he starts basically getting people with that hatchet. He's in murder Rick mode because he has his murder beard, you know, the murder beard, the murder coat, but I guess it's too hot for the murder coat, so just get the murder beard. And I'm all here for it. And he almost kills Sadiq, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, poor Sadiq. I felt so sorry for him. He's just having a rough couple hours. Morgan is killing people, but he's also hallucinating, and I'm like, this is not the time to be hallucinating. The Saviors retreat, and Maggie and Rick are standing together, and they're kind of upset because they're just like, they both wanted the Saviors dead, and they wanted Negan dead. And this is when Rick tells Maggie about how he tried to kill Negan, you know, with the whole, like, into the building, back and forth, burning Lucille situation. That led to Negan being snatched up by Jadis when he escaped. So the next day is pretty much cleanup time, and they're preparing to possibly leave if they sense another attack, because as Maggie said, they can't handle another attack. They don't have enough supplies, enough bullets. They're going to have to leave, so they're preparing for that. Now, Tara blames herself about Dwight joining up with the Saviors, and yeah, it is her fault that he did that because she was on this whole I need to kill Dwight thing, because Dwight was a savior at one point, and because Dwight killed Denise and so forth. Daryl believes that if Merle was alive and he had followed Merle like he did in season 3 until Daryl was just like, you know what, I'm not going to do this, I'm going back. He believes that he and Merle would have become saviors, but like Tara did with the governor's people, where Tara realized what was going on, and I don't even remember if she fired a gun at anybody. She kind of backed up and backed off. Daryl would have done the same thing. He would have questioned, and he would have left the Saviors. And I believe it as well. Now, Tara mentions how Dwight saved her life. And he did, even though Daryl does not believe that. He really did. Because it looked like Simon was about to throw something at her, like a knife or something, and all of a sudden, Dwight hit her in the shoulder. Michonne brought Rick a turnip while he was trying to remove the boards from the window, and he refuses to allow her to help him to patch him up, and so she decides to help him by removing wood from another window. There's still people online believing that Rick and Michonne are going to break up. I'm like, dude, Carl just died, so give Rick some time to breathe. Husa, before you start talking about them breaking up, because they're both grieving. And from this scene, or part of the scene that I saw that's going to air tonight, episode 14, they will come together and they will kind of cry it out and talk about everything that has happened. So I'm waiting to see that scene. And Rick explains that he tried to kill Negan because he felt like he had to. Now, Maggie allows Alden, who I call the cute savior, to bury his fellow dead saviors. And I think she said something about them being his people, and he was like, no, they're not my people. In other words, Alden is basically trying to join the Hilltop without saying it. Like, I do believe he's going to be a part of the Hilltop, and I still believe he's going to take on that storyline that one dude has in the comic book right now, where he and Maggie are kind of an item. But considering, on a side note, the fact that Lauren Cohan has not signed a contract for season 9, that's still up in the air, and I'm worried about that. There's a lot of craziness going on behind the scenes of The Walking Dead, I guess. So I agree with Diane. Maggie is a good leader, and yes, she saved lives, and Maggie did what she did to Lord Negan. That's what Maggie says. But she regrets that out of all the dead bodies, Negan's body is not on that pile. If you read the comic books, there is an instance where Maggie comes upon Negan when he's by himself. Does she kill him at that time? No, because Negan is still alive, but that whole situation, that exchange is just sad. It's really, really sad to see Negan in that mindset, to see Negan feeling the way that he feels. Does that mean that he deserves any sort of sympathy? No. But at the same time, it's just like, man, he got to this point where he's just like, kill me now. That's the only spoiler from the comics you're getting. And yes, I will indicate on this video that there are comic book spoilers. So Tobin and Carol have a conversation. Carol tells Tobin that with their whole relationship / situation, she was pretending. She didn't want it to be real. And she apologized to him for that. And she does not believe that the fighting is going to end and that will be it and they can live their lives. She believes that they will continue to fight. And if you're reading the comic books, you know they're still fighting. Well, at this point, they're at the Commonwealth. But still, they're going to end up fighting because there's a new issue coming out on Wednesday that I will be downloading soon. And winning means, in Tobin's eyes, that they get to see tomorrow. It's such a beautiful idea of what could happen in the Walking Dead world, but it was an idea and a quote and a line that let me know that Tobin was going to die, because anytime anybody in the Walking Dead becomes all philosophical, it's usually when they're about to die. Maybe not that episode, but coming soon, they're going to die. So there's a girl in the Savior pen with short hair, and she looks sick. So I'm like, what's going on with this chick? I guess she's turning. Someone left a gun out that Henry picked up. I'm not surprised at all. Carol tries to explain to Henry to trust her, that if he had gone out in this fight, he would have been killed or hurt real bad. Rick has a wound that Sadiq tries to treat, but Rick won't allow him either to treat it. And then it's time for everyone to rest, and that is my absolute favorite scene. So let's get down to it. So Tobin died, I think, around like 2:13. And this is when Simon's plan came into play around like 3:26, because all of a sudden this one dude hears the man next to him wheezing, and he's about to get up to get help when all of a sudden he's attacked by Tobin. Then at like what looked like 3:56 or something, Dr. Dana was attacked by Tobin and killed. And all the people who were hit by the weapon, save for Tara, because again, I don't believe that Tara was hit with a tainted weapon. All these folks start waking up in zombie mode and growling and dragging themselves. Baby Gracie is crying. And the dude by the staircase wakes up, and the walkers kind of come into the house, because I believe that the person who left the door open was Henry. Because again, no one's watching Henry. Also, I'm with the people on social media. How come nobody on the floor woke up, or no one in the house woke up when all that noise was being made, like the growling and all that stuff? Like, dude, it's loud. Somebody had to hear this. Anyway, Henry comes to the Savior's pen, and he's looking for his brother's killer. Now, Gregory tries to reason with him, and I'm with Henry. I'm not here for it. He's not here for it, because Gregory is a snake. And then all of a sudden, the cute Savior, Alden, wakes up. He tries to talk to Henry and kind of, you know, talk him into not shooting his gun, not doing what he's going to do. Then they hear the screaming. And then all of a sudden, they hear people being attacked and bitten. Rick had to amputate some dude's arm. Team Family has to take down the Walker Hilltop people. Henry decides to unlock the Savior's pen. I'm just like, what is this boy doing? Like, you are not Carl Grimes. You're going to get yourself hurt, like Carol said. The girl that was sick, the female Savior, she wakes up as a walker starts attacking people. Jared pops up, grabs Henry's gun and runs, and then Gregory goes with them, because why wouldn't he? Slimy as he is. Back at the main house, they're trying to figure out what caused all those people to turn. The black woman in the room, I'm calling her Brianna. I'm sure she has a different name, but she reminds me of Brianna from the comic books. She's saved by Carol, who ends up having to put down Walker Tobin, because he is the most determined walker I've ever seen on The Walking Dead. Like, nothing will stop him at all. Usually when they push the walkers, they kind of sort of give up or go on to something else. No, he was determined. He took out quite a few people while in walker mode, until Carol finally put him down, and that had to be really hard for her to do. Carol discovered that Tobin was not bitten. He just turned. Rick thinks back to Negan's Bat Lucille and how she was coated in Walker blood and gore. And then I guess they put 2 and 2 together and realize what the hell happened and what the hell turned all these people, or made all these people turn. Bruce said it's the fever, and he asked somebody to put him down because he can't do it himself. Now, the house is clear. All of a sudden, the topic of possibly having to put Tara down, because they believe that Tara was hit with a tainted arrow. And Tara's just like, okay. And she blames herself for what happened with Dwight. And again, it was her fault, because if she hadn't been on this, I have to kill Dwight, Dwight has to die thing, then Dwight would still be with this group. He wouldn't have had to make up all those lies and head back to the Saviors. Now, Alden essentially saved Sadiq from one of those crazy walker things. And the Hilltop Walkers. And the Saviors that are left, the ones that didn't run off, they are trying to close the gate. They're trying to help out. So pretty much they're a part of the Hilltop. Anyway, guys, you all take care. I will be watching episode 14 with the rest of you. I really hope that rumor is not correct, but they were correct about Carl. Tonight's episode is going to be pretty rough. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that. You all take care, and let me know what you thought about the episode in the comments below, and hit me up if there's anything else TWD-wise that you want to chat about. Leave me some comments. And if you like what you see in this video, hit subscribe. It is what it is. I love you all. Take care, and I'll be back to do a review of episode number 14 soon. Bye, guys. I love you all. Thanks for subscribing, and thanks for watching. Bye.